breathe and know that in the stillness of this moment there is peace. In the stillness of this moment there is peace. There is peace. In the stillness of this moment there is peace. There is peace. And I rest and trust and breathe and know that in the stillness of this moment there is peace. In the stillness of this moment there is love. There is love. In the stillness of this moment there is love. There is love. And I rest and trust and breathe and know that in the stillness of this moment there is love, sweet love, yeah, sweet love. In the stillness of this moment, I feel love. I feel love. In the stillness of this moment, I feel love. I feel love, and I rest and trust and breathe and know that in the stillness of this moment I feel love. In the stillness of this moment, I am peace. I am peace. In the stillness of this moment, I am peace. I am peace. And I rest and trust and breathe and know that in the stillness of this moment I am peace. I am love. I am peace. I am love. I am
Good morning and welcome to
Good
day
morning.
2. Morning, Sister Ashika.
Good morning, everyone. How are you doing, Ushpen?
Very good, thank you. So today, just a little recap what we started yesterday. Our day of power was connecting us to the strength that we draw from the Supreme Parent as our Father. And so just knowing that foundation, let's move on to the next power that we draw, or the next virtue that we draw from the power. It is actually that ability to be stable. And stability comes from actually knowing our roots. Most people will say, I need to discover my roots, and knowing where I come from actually helps me. But today we want to explore roots from a different sense, from the fact that, when my roots are settled into the earth, I have a foundation that is actually very strong, it's very supported, so that actually no matter what's happening on the outside, I don't actually get ruffled by it. So it gives me a deeper sense of resilience and tolerance. So those were the kind of feelings in terms of how we can take power and bring that power into our lives by experiencing stability.
So just building on that, and then I have a question for you as well, is that when we are on this journey, of being divine being, so that's this energy, that soul, and this connection, staying connected to our Supreme Soul, Supreme Father, this connection stays as a pure one. So we stay rooted in that as well. So if we see it as a two-way stream, where if I stay rooted to this connection and draw that power, then my expression is the strength that I see. And exploring this as stability, then, because we have to operate from this physical body, and it's our costume of expression of these virtues, then this stability and being rooted to the element of the body that's it's made up of is this earth. And so the physical earth staying rooted. So it's like a two-way connection, is that here and rooted upward. And so it's like an inverted roots, and staying and drawing that nourishment. And then the opposite on the other side, where the body is drawing its sustenance from physical needs and for the body. And I think it's a beautiful connection if we see it as a twofold, staying rooted and grounded. So my question to you would be, is that drawing that nourishment through, that when we say we're stable, yet power has movement associated with it. How do we use that stability in being grounded? What do we do with it?
So, if we think about the whole idea of the purpose of why we are in our physical bodies, the spiritual being itself is like a seed. And so in its dormancy, even though it has the full potential of all the qualities of power, peace, purity, happiness, joy, wisdom, and power, if it doesn't have a body, it can't express itself. And so how do you actually know the sweetness of our own being? So what is powerful to understand is that the physical earth actually, in a sense, gives the seed the ability to actually renounce its form, but give it full expression. And that's when we can actually eat the fruits from it. So when we as souls come into this physical world and we remain rooted, that actually we are from that soul world, we belong to that unlimited world family, that we got no sense of competition, comparison. There's such a clear feeling that I know clearly what it is that I am. Then I can openly just flourish and share my goodness. So what happens is that in the world, different souls go through different things. And sometimes they don't see their own goodness. And so what happens is that I give people permission to actually also take power by just being stable and strong. You can't tell somebody it's okay, take it easy, when internally my energy is all like here, there, and everywhere. So the main thing that I can share with everyone is that first I'm in my like truth. I'm really there and feeling that rootedness. Then I can actually give others that experience. And together, a world of peace and happiness is not going to happen because you and I are peaceful. We actually have to have the whole world, including the elements, including nature, everything come to its point of harmony. And that requires a great deal of power. And the virtue of stability, when anything needs to culminate, even when you're doing crystals, I remember when we were little, you put the string into your solution and the crystals will hang onto the string to the stable factor. These crystals just don't develop in the water. And so this stability is giving power for things to actually culminate and actually allow something to start happening.
So that point of staying still, because we always associate being still as being stagnant sometimes and not being able to move forward. Yet it is a power that is an enabler for a higher being. So just the image that came to my mind again is that if you take a plant that's rooted and it's in one point, so let's just take a mango tree, for example, and it's rooted in one point, yet we benefit from its fruit abundantly when it shares it across multiple areas and regions. So if we take just on a massive global outlook, is that if you were growing mango trees in a farm in Verulam, those mangoes are experienced in another part, just say Europe, when it's transported there. But the tree didn't move, yet it was able to share. And if we have to look at ourselves, because the word that is coming through and is part of stability is self-respect. So when I stay still and silent, and that stability that happens within me, I'm still able to share that on a massive platform. So I can explore with you silence then as a stability, just that stillness, because that's related to being grounded.
So, when you think of the word silence, generally people are afraid of being too still because the senses are not being fed. The reason why there is that feeling of rather emptiness is because we've actually stepped away from our true self. And as we put in the pieces together to actually put ourselves together and realize that who I am is actually a living source of energy, and that inside of me is the vibrance of peace, love, and happiness. And it actually comes from inside of me out. So when we forgot that that's actually where we come from, we thought that if I have this, if I am with this person, then I will get the comfort that I required. And so that's why we became what you call extroverted, and in a way tapped into the things that we thought will give us that sense of happiness. Like a simple thing like people will eat comfy food when they're feeling a little bit sad or unhappy. And so we are trying to get back to a feeling that we know is missing inside of us. And if we kind of detach, and when I say detach, just step aside from taking the information that my ears are giving. So if somebody is gossiping and I decide, okay, I'm not going to listen to that. If I see some violent images and I say, look, I'm not going to see this, I'm going to go into my mind's eye and visualize peace and harmony. And some people might find this like, you're just talking impossible things. But the power of our thoughts are so beautiful that actually whatever it creates, it can feel. So we can be far away, but if we really visualize something icy and cold, there can actually be a shiver that can go run down your spine. And so if we can use our power of thought with the right understanding to create the right thought, to step aside from our senses and really enter into that space, which is the living space of the spiritual being, and to accept that I am this beautiful being of peace, love, and happiness, and tap into that, then actually I become silent. So I don't actually have to stop doing anything. Silence is not an absence, but it's actually a choice I make to stop myself from experiencing the things I don't want to experience. And that's quite nice in a sense, because it actually shows strength to make a choice, to have discernment power, which is a very active process. It's not a dormancy, it's not being a doormat for people. Like, for example, if somebody is being aggressive with me and I keep quiet, people will look like, you've been walked over. But you actually hold yourself and not bark like that person. When I mean bark, get angry or get upset, actually my own dignity is being restored. And so when you speak about self-respect, it's really that energy that I'm holding myself true to what I am and not allowing the external to actually influence me so that I lose my own positioning of who I am in terms of my quality of peace, love, and happiness. So I would say that that's the power of silence, actually. It can allow me to restore my dignity and integrity and maintain my own honor.
Mm-hmm. So this just something that's resonating with the silence is that we always associate it again with doing nothing and of no energy, yet it is known that it's the highest vibrational energy that we enter into. So even this physical ability to still the self and sort of just stay stable before we act or enact something gives us the power to be able to have a fruitful interaction then. Because I'm hearing you using words like when we interact with others, we are more reactive than responsive. So it gives us a space to become that. And it seems like this engine, this quality of power is then giving us the fruit of stability that we hold. So I'm going to link it back again to this self-respect and regard for the self, because it's coming across very powerfully that until we take ownership of that and bring back our own worthiness, this is not going to work. So give us some like sort of things that we can hold on to that says, okay, why would we hold on to our self-respect and have regard for ourselves?
It's so interesting that at the moment when we look at life, we always think about it as an interaction and with who I am and where I am and what I have. Because actually, when we lose our identity, the first thing we lose is actually a deep sense of awareness of what I'm already capable of. And so what is a practical thing that we can do? And I think this is something that is really each one of us can do, is just to observe the self. So for example, when you're talking, if you listen to the words that you speak, the tone that you actually utilize, you will actually see what is it that you're creating and dissipating. And at that point, you can ask yourself, is that the expression you want of who you are? Because if somebody else speaks to me in a harsh tone and in a negative tone, instantly I pick it up and I have a reaction. So if I want to honor myself, all I need to do is observe and see what I'm doing. So how am I coming across? So I can do that with actually the words I speak. But if you become quiet, and this is where perhaps meditation is a very beautiful thing, if you just sit and check what are the stream of thoughts that are passing through your mind, you'll realize what you're touching. And if you're touching people's bad habits and you're touching things that irritates you, that expression, like when you put a little bit of lemon juice on your tongue, it immediately shows on your face. So you're realizing then now when you're taking people's weakness and entertaining in your mind, actually how it's affecting you. So again, that's something you can check. Why do I want to hurt myself with somebody else's bad attitude? Or so actually that's your self-respect, not to allow yourself to be influenced. And then in my actions, like how something subtle like opening a door, you can actually bang it as you walk past, or you can actually close it. And then when you leave that space, you can ask yourself, what have I left behind? And that will actually be the presence that you create. So our thoughts, words, and actions are we are doing this all the time. You don't have to take time out of your day. But if you incorporate this awareness that what vibration do I leave behind? What feeling do I create? What attitude am I imparting? Then actually we can really allow this being who I am to have its expression in this world without actually forcefully trying to become something. So if you look at the Mother Teresa's of this world, you always see her head sort of like, in a sense, a little bit lowered, not like there. And in her lowering, she's nurturing and caring for somebody. And that's the woman that everyone really adores. Why? Because what she's giving you is immediately just seeing her, you feel nurtured, you feel cared, you feel respect and love. And when somebody stands in like an overt way, trying to be even experience or expel a sense of power, it doesn't empower others. So who is powerful? The one who can make other people feel great, that they can make other people feel happy, not somebody who puts others down, who actually comes across as being mightier than all. So can you see, it's such a lovely kind of thing we can do in our day that can actually generate such good energy. And that means I'm amplifying the inner values inside of me, leaving behind a beautiful fragrance and a trail of uplifting others. And that's really my power.
Wow. So do you think we should move into a bit of meditation?
Yes, I definitely think so. But I wanted to just share something that I really loved when you connected the two trees, you know. So if you think about the trunk of the tree having branches on the one side and roots on the other side, and if we invert it and we put the roots connected to the world of light, and then our expression of ourselves as the full tree laden with fruit, giving it to this physical world, I thought that was a beautiful image, which I myself want to keep today. Thank you.
Great. Oh, pleasure. So we're going to allow ourselves some space now just to explore the silence of peace and harmony. So gently allow yourself this time, this space to root yourself in a connection with the divine being, drawing the nourishment and the vibrancy of power just this tiny centered point that crystallizes this energy onto itself. And feel how stable you become, centered and focused, but also a sense of belonging, a feeling of great wealth as an heir to this divinity. Draw this into every cell of your body, this beautiful energy from the Supreme Soul. And as you charge up, the body becomes stable as well, allowing you to settle and potter around in the garden of your mind. Using the strength of this relationship with my Father, the Divine Being, I choose to till the soil of my thoughts. And as I till, I start to unearth the beauty within myself. And I see how fertile a ground I actually stand on. I stay stable in this knowledge. I am secure. I am peace. And as this resonates within me, out of this, treasures of self-respect and regard emerge. I see my worthiness. I acknowledge my worthiness. I also know that I can stay in this space every second. And the moment I choose to shift, I may come unstable. So I have a choice. And right now, I root myself in this pure space of stability, and I watch as I get strengthened. I see my vibrations extending beyond and giving permission to every soul I interact with, every person in my sphere, giving them permission to be peaceful, to be at harmony. Be different, yet at the core, be the same. And as I explore this garden, I notice different colors. And I particularly look at the shade of reds I see. And I see the power in each one. No one better than the other, yet creating a beautiful field, all harmonious. A radiance within me spreads and moves out into the world, and a deep appreciation for this earth that keeps me sustained, and I share my gratitude to her. The nourishment and the wealth that serves this physical body, I bow down with deep respect and regard for this relationship that we have. And I offer in everything that I do that I pay due respect to this physical matter. I make a personal pledge to sustain this, to protect it so that I feel cradled and stable. I will also cradle and stable this earth, feeling very settled, both internally. I feel rooted to the divine, and I stay rooted to this earth. With this amount of stability, I step into my day. I am peaceful, and harmonious energies emanate from me. Om Shanti. Thank you.
Today, let us keep this beautiful practice, power that gives me stability. Today, I rejoice the day of power as I stay rooted in my self-respect. I feel the stability of the earth as it cradles me and supports me, holding me close and safe. I experience being grounded, stable, secure. And once again today, as you go through your day and notice any different shades of red, take a moment and become stable, rooted, either connecting yourself to the home with the parent and spread your rays of peace to the world. Om Shanti. Have a beautiful day.